Welcome back to American Wing Chun. I am Siu Nim Tau, and in this video we will be going over the 5th set of Chum Kiu. So immediately after the 4th set, we have the 5th set. So in your stance, after you've done the kick on the left and right sides, and you're back to the center of the line here, you're going to take a left 90-degree turn. All of your body weight shifts onto your right leg. Your left foot pivots, and there's no weight on that leg. So you're facing completely square towards that wall. Your arms are still back here. Your spine is vertical and straight. You're going to pick up your left foot and pick up your knee so that the bottom of your foot is facing forward, and then you do a frontal thrusting kick. You kick forward, step. When your back foot slides, both arms go to this lower Bong-Sau position, Dai-Bong-Sau. So this position, if I do it facing the camera, you can see the angles on this. So I'm facing forward, I pick up, kick, bong. My back foot and my front foot are on the same line. All my weight's still on the back leg. My wrists are about my belt line height, and they're the width of my waist. And there's a 135-degree angle at the elbows. They're not too low, but they're not too high either. They have to be at about your belt height. And from there, both hands go to double Tong-Sau, which is the same position as this part of Siu Nim Tau. You're going to step with your front foot forward. And when your back foot slides, the wrist relaxes and hangs down from the elbow and kind of widens out to the width of your waist. And you go to Tong-Sau again. You take another step forward, and you go to double bong one last time. So there's 3 Bong-Saus. The Chum Kiu form, we have a lot of repetitions of 3, as you've noticed. So from the side, I pick up and I kick 1 and 2 and 3. And it's important that your back foot does not have the heel come up and then back down, and that you don't pick up the foot as you slide it. You can't slide and pick it up at the same time. You should be sliding the whole flat of the foot on the ground as you step. And that's also true for the 4th set that we just did as well. Keep that heel down. A lot of people, they tend to put weight on that front leg, which makes that heel come up. And that's a very small surface area that you're balancing on the ground. Keep all your weight on that foot, the front foot kicking up and stepping. When it touches, it squeezes your back leg to drive it forward. So when we do this, from this stance position here, 90 degrees, pick up your foot, kick, double bong, tong, and bong. Facing 90 degrees, both feet are parallel to each other, pointing 45 degrees off the line. And then now, this is a part of the form that if you're not in Wing Chun, this will be kind of arbitrary to you. But for me, this little detail here has been bothering me for a while. So the next movement is that you step your front foot forward and point it straight. And the details I was taught is that you step and your foot steps straight and your back foot slides and your hands come up to this double Mon-Sau. We'll talk about that in a minute. Your back foot slides up side by side next to your other foot. And that line is between both feet. So you're straddling that line. And so we have this saying in Wing Chun, or for the Chum Kiu form, that you should be able to do the Chum Kiu form in the space that a cow can lay down on. It's a weird saying. I've actually heard some other Kung Fu styles, they have a similar motto, but it's the space that a tiger can lay down on. I'm not around tigers very often, so I don't know how big they are versus a cow. I'm not around cows very often either. So when you're stepping, if you think of the back of a cow where their spine is having that angle with their body kind of flaring out, you are stepping with your feet on either side of the spine of the cow, and that spine's between your feet. Now, when we do this next part, after the hands came up, they sink down, and you do that whole movement, the stepping back is another issue that I have with this. So I'll tell you the details I learned, then I'll show you what I like to do instead of this that makes it more symmetrical and satisfies my OCD. So The movements with the hands. Let's say I'm on that line. I've done my third Bong-Sau. I step that foot forward. When I slide my back foot up in line with my front foot, both my hands are going to come together and they're going to come up and the wrists flick up to the height where your wrist is at the crown of your head. So it's in conjunction with my back foot sliding. So it's like there's a string tied to your wrist and your back knee where you step, and then as you slide, this comes up. And you want to look with your face through your hands. This should be touching, so you're not seeing like completely through it, but it's touching. And you have this tilted back motion of your body. Then you're going to bring the elbows in together and do a double Chi-Sau so that your arms are like train tracks. A lot of people I see do this, and they're making this triangle shape because they're having bad habits. Pull those elbows in, just like in Siu Nim Tau. Again, when you do the double Chut, you're in that exact same position. From there, bend both hands backwards, double palm strike. The hands go down, bend backward, fingers point back at yourself. Do a reverse Hyun sound. It's like gears meshing together into double fists, thumbs on top. And you pull both hands back. Then we have the stepping back footwork. So I'll do that part again. I step forward. This comes up as I slide that foot up together. Jut, bend, palm, down and around, and back. So now to step backwards. I'll face backwards so you can see it this way. So with my feet straddling this line, the details are that the right foot steps back behind you with the ball of the foot in line with the heel of your front foot. And it's at that 45-degree angle so that when you turn in, you're back in your stance already. And so you're going to be pivoting on the ball of your left foot. So you step the ball of your right foot in line with the heel of your front foot, pivot on the ball of your left foot, and you're back in your stance. Then you turn 90 degrees this way, then you kick with the right side and do exactly the same thing. My issue with that is that the detail of you start and finish the form in the same spot. If I start with my, say if I'm facing the mirror here, so I'll do it facing the camera. If the centers of my feet are on this line to start with, and I turn and I kick and I step 1, 2, 3, and then I do this, my foot is no longer exactly on that line. I'm going to be slightly on this side of the line when I turn around. So this came up, you did all that with your hands. The ball of the foot going in line with the heel of this foot, my feet are more on this side of the line than on the center when I started. And I pivot. So if I pivot on the heel, my stance gets very narrow, so it can't be the heel. If I pivot on the center of the foot, then I have one foot staggered off of the other one. So I have to pivot on the ball of this foot, but now my toes are on the line instead of my heels being on the line. And so that just kind of bothers me. There's a way you can do it where you don't have to worry about all that, but that's the detail that I was shown. The way I like to do it instead is that when I do that half step, my foot steps exactly down the line. When this comes up, my right foot is offline. And then when I step backwards, I step the center of my right foot onto the line. I pivot on the center of my left foot, and I'm back in my stance exactly the way it needs to be, exactly on the line. And when I go the other way, I follow the same details down there, and it works. But if my feet are straddling the line, and I step with the ball of the foot in line with the heel, and I pivot on the ball of that foot, I'm behind the line. When I go that way, and I do the details that are on the end of the form over there, I'm even further back behind the line. When I do my kick to get back, I'm going to be like back here. And that, that has annoyed me since I learned it. So the way I like to do it, I step with my foot on the line, the feet come together, but my right foot's offline, my left foot is on that line. And then I palm that out. I step the center of my foot on that line. I turn to my stance. I turn to the right. The centers of my feet are still on this line. Then I do my right side kick. Comes up, kick, bong, tong, and bong. And now, it's supposed to be the same detail. So if I straddle this line, I have one foot on either side. And right now it's symmetrical. This is fine. But the next movement, which will start the 6th set, this is going to be off. I pivot on the heel of my left foot and the ball of my right foot, and all my weight's on my back leg. I'm now behind this line. And when I do my kick, I'm really back over here. So what I like to do again is have the right foot exactly on that line, pivot on the center of my right foot so it's still on that line. I can still pivot on the heel of my left foot. My right foot's pointing 45, my front foot's pointing straight, and then I do the kick, and when it lands, I'm still on this line. So we'll see those details more in the next video for the next set. But be able to do both. Be able to step and have your feet go here, and be accurate. This is the important thing about this. Be accurate with your stepping, that you can choose to be in control of your body, to have your ball of your foot go in line with the heel and then pivot on the ball. Or if you choose to do the other way, be accurate with that as well. Be able to do both, stepping with the center of your foot in line with this foot, pivoting on the center of that foot, and then you're fine. So those two ways of doing it, I think the way that I'm doing it fits a little bit more symmetrically with the whole form. It makes you stay on the same line the whole time. The fact that you went offline kind of slightly with your body weight, I don't think is that big of an issue, because the application for this anyway is that you're going to be going offline to begin with. So I think even that fits a little bit better. But take that with a grain of salt. Put in the comments if you're in a different lineage. I know that's very semantics and it won't break or make a fight, but put in the comments how your lineage does that. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. I don't know. But that's how you do that footwork. So I'll do that set again from the beginning. I turn to my left 90 degrees. I pick up my foot. My knee goes down, so my foot goes forward. And then I step. My back foot slides. I go to bong, tong, and bong. Half step. This goes up, jut, then back, palm, down and around, and back. Right foot steps behind you. With whichever of those details you're doing, you pick up your right foot now, and then you kick and left. Both arms are at bong. Your right side's in front. Double tong, step and slide, double tong, step and slide. And now you should be back on your line from here before you do this half step this way. And then this is the end of the 5th set. The 6th set starts with this turn and then the kick, and that whole, we'll do a whole video on that. So that's the 5th set. Practice that, and I'll see you on the next video.